This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. We come to you daily with short business episodes, short private equity episodes. We try and make sure that we're learning something, that you're learning something, and that you're entertained some as well. I'm going to quickly walk through 16 business stories we're following today. Some of them are promo type stuff, so bear with me, but we hope you enjoy this and get a kick out of it. Also, I'll point out that so far today, the market is up. So God bless that. It'll help me to afford some of the family's spending habits with the market being up a little bit. First, Google surges today on great earnings and revenues. Search is still king for Google, but its cloud business is growing too. It started to take some market share there from Amazon and Microsoft. A little bit scary for Amazon and Microsoft, but they're all big companies. They'll all do fine. Second, Eli Lilly missed on earnings estimates. You haven't heard that in a very long time. It makes you wonder, is the age of competition coming to GLP-1s? They were down about 7% pre-market today. We'll see how that goes. The GLP-1 thing is fascinating because those things will be off patent in a couple of years, and price competition will get really significant at that point. Third, Caterpillar. Big equipment maker, falls on slowing sales throughout the world. That's a fascinating thing. Fourth, and I hate to use this as analog, so bear with me on this. I couldn't put it in writing, but JetBlue crashed yesterday. They fell 17% on a reduced forecast for revenues and profits. We joke about them crashing. Their stock crashed, not them. Fifth, we have a webinar on building a business scheduled for December 4th. Please feel free, message me, find me on LinkedIn. We'll get you signed up for that, no charge. Thank you. Sixth, Visa is laying off 1,400 employees. We'll see if that's meaningful or just a drop in the bucket, but it's not a drop in the bucket to those people being laid off. There's no definition. A recession is when the economy is going in the wrong direction. A depression is when you get laid off yourself. Seventh, Moncler's revenues are falling. I hope that my colleague Greg Miller, that's all he wears, is okay. Eighth, Ford dropped nearly 8.5% yesterday. VW is also struggling. In the first world problem category, Porsche car prices are going through the roof, and it makes it literally ridiculous to buy a Porsche, but it's fun. 10th, Warren Buffett / Berkshire sold $80 billion of Apple stock in the second quarter. That's a lot, but it's still a huge, huge holding for Warren Buffett and Berkshire. And don't worry about Apple. In fact, Iran just decided they're going to allow the Apple 16 to be sold in Iran. Crazy world that we live in. 10th, the Wall Street Journal has a piece today. Can the WNBA take in the dough or rake in the dough? I personally don't know. I do know that Phenom Caitlin Clark is our first celebrity keynote at the Becker's Healthcare 30th Annual Business and Operations of ASC's conference starting tomorrow. So we welcome her. 11th, a couple of quick notes before we get back to business. The Becker's Healthcare podcast had a remarkable October in downloads. Thank you to the team, including Jeremy Core, Chanel Bunger, Grace Keller, as well as Melly Gamble, Jacob Emerson, and Laura Dierda. 12th, the McGuire Woods Healthcare Private Equity Conference is scheduled for May 14th, 2025. I think that's going to be in its 21st year. 13th, I'm thrilled at the Becker CEO Roundtable, and I promise I'm getting back to a couple more business stories very quickly, to moderate the CEO of Advent Health, Terry Shaw. Advent Health is up to 52 hospitals or so. It's grown into one of the best systems in the country, incredibly well managed clinically and fiscally. 14th, Chipotle Mexican Grill, which was a fan favorite when the kids were in high school, recently lost its CEO to Starbucks. It's down 5% on slowing sales. We'll see if that's all coincidental or moving in the right direction. Oh, my goodness. 15th, we did a segment the last couple of weeks, White Dudes Gone Wrong, which is a takeoff of White Dudes for Heroes, so bear with me. But another one bites the dust. The Massimo CEO was summarily dismissed from his role. He was also the founder and CEO of the medical device firm Massimo. So that just it is interesting to watch. 16th, and it's a constant balance of business between listener experience and audience consumer experience and making a living. We've added advertising to the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. So on some episodes, you'll hear pre-roll or post-roll advertising. I hope this doesn't hurt your experience too much, but it helps us to fund the growth of the podcast. It's a constant trade-off. One of the constant trade-offs in business is this kind of trying to figure out what you got to do and what you don't have to do to make it all work. But I'd love your comments, of course, at any time, 773-766-5322. Thank you very, very much. And finally, P.S., a shout out to my close colleague, Scott Levy. Life is directional. You'll be back. Don't worry. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast and joining us today. Thank you.